Hey everyone, welcome back for another whiskey review. Sample number 3 of this amazing Elements of Islay tasting pack. Onto my sample 3, which is a Caol Ila. As I shared in the previous video, the different codes on these samples or the full size retail bottles, you can go on the website and they're all detailed in amazing ways. They tell you the cask types, what age there might be, or usually they tell you the distillation date. And in this case, which is the CI12, this is a Caol Ila sample, if it was not clear. This was distilled in 2011, aged for 7 years in 2 refill sherry barrels. So being in a sherry cask for not so long, so it hasn't really imparted too much color. And I guess they were refilled, so didn't have all that much energy, but I'm still hoping for amazing flavors, and bottled at a very generous 57.5% ABV. Now I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I had the full Caol Ila, one of the Caol Ilas, 500ml retail bottle. I actually had 2, which I still should have a full bottle somewhere, can't find it, which is good, it will turn up one day. But I thoroughly enjoyed the bottle that I opened. But there was a full bourbon cask, or 2 or 3 bourbon casks, and it was just probably one of the best Caol Ila independently bottled releases I've ever had. And it was at cask strength, closer to 60%, like this one. Coming back to this particular whiskey, I've tried Caol Ila done in a sherry cask, or finished in a the official bottling, the Caol Ila Distillers Edition, which I can't remember, is a Moscatel or something sweet. Otherwise, predominantly, I've had Caol Ila just in its peaty, smoky, sublime characters done in a bourbon cask, which I reckon is perfectly fine. I've had a couple of red wine cask finished Caol Ilas as well, which have been quite good, but not too much in the sherry. Can't really remember right now if I've tried much of it in the sherry. Well, let's see what's it like on the nose. Now, this was a just over 1900, 1900, I think it's 1910 from memory, bottled release, which is quite high, but they had used 2 sherry butts, which are 500-liter casks, 1900 bottles. So if it's really good, there must be some more of these in the vault, which excites me. Hopefully, I can get my hands on some. Hopefully, I can get my hands on some. Honey just coming from the center of my favorite whiskey glass, Caol Ila, straight up. There's no smoke, nothing else, just a solid dose of honey and just a very tiny hint of smoke just now. There is sort of a jammy, I don't want to say sherbet. Sherbet's too far out there, but it's sort of like a gooseberry or blackberry sort of character. It's quite oily on the nose. Well, very high in ABV, that was to be expected. It's kind of weird. I know it's done in a sherry, but there is a sort of a tanniny wine sort of character. Maybe not wine. Can't quite put my finger on it. It's not a full-on cinnamon-driven sherry cask experience, but there is a certain character there hiding behind the honey and smoke I found. I just can't quite put my finger on it. But it's absolutely not. It is on the sweet side, and smoke is very gentle. Gorgeous. Really good. Well, let's see what this is like on the... Smoke. Oh. Now, this is my second time experiencing this, because obviously I had opened all of the 5 samples when I shared them with my mate over a Zoom call And I went through a similar experience. It's just an explosion of smoke followed by intense sweetness. But smoke is there. This is very nice. I'm enjoying this. This is my territory. I enjoy really, really smoky whiskies late at night, like it is now. It's just turning on 10 at night. Dinner is done. All the work is out of the way. And the man can just enjoy a nice smoky whiskey. Which this is. This is just really, really enjoyable. Intense amount of smoke. It is high in ABV, so it was a bit of a shock to the palate in a nice way at castering. And then there's that honey and other tropical fruit sweetness is lingering in the background really beautifully. But overall, that smoke is all over the palate, just really, really good. And here's some advice to you. We are very, very blessed by Caol Ila being available to be aged, purchased and bottled by any number of independent bottlers. Probably the most frequently bottled Islay single malt is Caol Ila. Any number of independent bottlers come to mind. Gordon MacPhail, the single cask, Elements of Islay, a lot of other big small independent bottlers, which makes available an intense amount of single cask strength Caol Ila, which you just must get your hands on. It's just a wild ride, and it's probably worth keeping the standard 12-year-old at 43% side by side to the cask strength samples, just to see how big difference it is between a standard release, which is really nice because that's what I fell in love with initially a number of years ago. Drank many bottles of the standard release versus just magical cask strength single cask sample, or in this case it's 2 casks. But at least being at cask strength, you get the full Caol Ila. That's the name of an independent bottling company, the full Caol Ila. Not as much of a shock to the system this time. The palate sort of was ready for the 57.3%, I think it was. What I'm going to do is just add a couple of drops of water just to see what it does to the whiskey, if it helps open it up. If my logic is right, which I've used in the other videos, just the introduction of tiny amount of water should help open it up a little bit more, but also subdue the smoke on the nose and the palate. But let's see. Yeah. Is it? I didn't really find intense smoke on the nose before, but finding a very interesting citrus sort of character. I don't want to say lime, but it's there. Just a hint of lemon peel. Good. Very nice. Get into Caol Ila independent bottles. Just do it. You will thank me. Come back and comment and you will tell me. Oh, loads of citrus now. Well, let's see if it's changed on the palate at all. Now, the water on the palate has brought out more of that sort of maritime, briny, salty character. It's good. Really, really good. Very dry on the palate now. The sweetness has taken a back step, and that salty character, really good. And on the palate, the smoke's calmed down quite a bit as well. But maybe I'm on my 3rd or 4th sip of it, so the palate is used to that intense smoke the whiskey had put forward. But overall, too good. Really good. It's Caol Ila. It was expected to be spectacular, and it turned out to be. Even though it's a very young whiskey, it was a good wild ride. And that's what cask strength whiskies bring to the conversation. It is a wild ride. You may really, really enjoy it. At the least, you'll get thrown around a little bit just for bit of giggles. Well, I'm Ash. If you're liking the content, please like, share, and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you in the very near future with another whiskey review. See you. Bye-bye.